Yeah. No,
So I'm feeling like shit. It's terrible, man. It's not even like,
KX.
it's just like my body feels terrible, and I'm like, I have no appetite to eat. So it's pretty rough. But so yeah, what happened was I was obviously second lap of the first race, and I was literally hitting the whoops like straight, like I was fine, and then it just hit one edge and it shot me left, and then everyone's seen hit that thing, foot peg up the ass, and so I was laying there, and I'm laying on my back, and then I'm like, I just feel blood like rushing, like it was really, really warm. I didn't know it was blood. I didn't know what it was. Oh. And then I get up, and then the Alpine Star guys are freaking out, like, Dean, you're bleeding a lot, like, and then they're trying to patch it up or whatever, and they're wrapping me, and like, dude, I'm literally, I'm glad that I don't care already, but I got my hands on these tough blocks, and my ass is to the full crowd. They fucking take my pull my pants down. My full ass cheeks are just pointing at the crowd, and I didn't even care though, because I'm in like, there's blood everywhere, and they're like quite desperate to like try and stop the bleeding, and like, so they're wrapping me up, and then I can't run across the track because I hurt my hip and I hurt my knee, and I'm like, I can't just run across. They're like, oh, there's 5 minutes left. I'm like, fuck, and then I'm standing there, and then like 2 minutes, and I'm like, dude, and then we 1 lap to go. I'm like, fuck. So finally, we get across this thing, and then I get to the little unit thing, and you know, they're like, okay, you either lay on your belly on the stretcher or just go on your knees on the seat. I was like, oh, all right, I'll go on my knees on the seat. I'm feeling like just such a bozo, like on my knees, ass pointing to the crowd once again. And I'm not in a lot of pain at this point because my adrenaline's high. I'm just like, I don't really know the damage because I can't see. And then so they drive me through, and then Bodner's like, they're telling me like I need to get an ambulance, and you know me, I'm thinking, fuck, that's expensive. So I'm like, Bodner, I'm not going in the ambulance. Let's just check the Alpine Star rig. And he's like,
just stitch me up. No. Yeah, and he's like, no. Yeah.
No, he was pretty serious. He's like, Dino, you need to. I was like, oh, fuck, all right.
Okay.
So then I get into the ambulance, we get going, and then the guy's like, I'm going to give you some fentanyl. And then I'm like, fuck,
no,
fentanyl? And all I'm thinking of is like people that
overdose.
Yes,
fentanyl. Yeah.
And then anyway, so get to the hospital. They were all like ready, waiting for me. I have 6 doctors. Dude, like, good thing, like, once again, I'm not that shy, but my cock and balls are out. I'm butt-ass naked on this thing. I got 5 doctors poking at my ass, like, cleaning it, squeezing it. Yeah. Like, their hands are everywhere. But, I mean, it was serious, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really care, but, like, just blood everywhere. And then the doctors were super cool. And then they kind of got me, like, a little bit situated. And then they're like, oh, there's another, the one nurse was, like, pretty cool. She's like, oh, there's another rider coming. He's pretty fucked up. And I was like, oh, shit, I wonder who that is. So then I'm laying there, and here comes Kyle Pierce into the same room as me. And then all those doctors that were with me are all over him doing the checks and, like, you know, all the crap. So anyways, they looked after Kyle, and then I was like, Kyle, is that you? He's like, yeah, Dino. And I was like, oh, dude, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I hurt my back. We're just talking.
How's your ass bad? How's your neck bad?
Dude.
So it was measurable. And then, so anyways, I go in for a surgery right away.
Yeah.
And then they realized the surgery, I hit an artery. So then they finished that surgery, went into another surgery where I went to a different, like, department to fix the artery. And they did that. And then, I was just laying on my side for, like, 3 days, like, not moving, right? And then I had to go for another surgery. And that one, they kind of just went back in there to look and see how everything was and re-clean it, and, you know, nothing too crazy. But it's such a miserable and very uncomfortable injury.
I can't even imagine.
And, like, I'm laying there in my room, and I'm sharing it with this 60-year-old who just had a hip replacement, right? And, like, I'm already, like, this is already measurable. And this guy can't actually physically get up and go to the toilet. So he's shitting in a bucket in my room, and I can hear him physically just taking a shit. And he's, I mean, and I feel bad for him. Like, it's not his fault.
Yep.
But I'm laying on my side, and I'm just, I can't even, like, cover my nose. Like, it's so bad. And it lingered in the room for so long And then, dude, 2 hours later, he's doing another one. And then it was like that for 3 days. And then the one night, he takes the shit in a bucket, and then the doctor forgets to take it out, and it sat in the room all night.
What?
And Sarah can't go in there and just, I guess,
She ain't gonna pick up
I
no
guess.
shit.
They wouldn't let Sarah stay the night.
Oh.
So I'm just in there suffering. Like, I've already got this, and then I was like, oh, my God.
So how deep is it?
It's deep. It's 10 inches deep. So, I mean, it's weird because obviously a foot peg is like 4 inches, but I don't know how like,
it's just dug in
but
there.
That's the problem, is that it's so deep, and even right now, it's not closed. They've left the thing completely open because they said if they closed it, it would just be a big gap and big space in there, and then fluid would fill up with it. Then it has a good chance of infection. So they're doing the old school healing way of from the inside out, healing from the inside out. So
and Sarah's in there packing it. You great Instagram updates, by the way, Dino. I really like your Instagram updates. Sarah's in there packing it. And, she's right.
So this hits home for me.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
She is the best. Like,
she's an angel.
So,
yes.
Yeah, she's really good help, and it's just so we just got to let it heal from the inside out. So that's that pretty much. But I also need to really focus on my blood stuff too that's going on right now. So
that hits home for me because my mom, back in the day, she had a bed sore, which was just like what Dean was, like 8 inches deep. And I was like, why can't they just sew it up and then so it wouldn't get infected? But they had to pack gauze in there, and I had to like clean the gauze out. And I'm sure Sarah's smelling this. It leaves like a nasty smell, and and it has to heal from the inside out. And that. Dude, Dean, it takes some time too to do that. So you really gotta make sure you're not sitting on your ass.
I could think for like how long. I'm like, dude, I really don't know. Like, as the way I feel right now, it's not very soon because I don't feel good physically, and I got a hematoma in there. So I think that's what's causing me a lot of pain. It's pushing on my anus. They said because I got a hematoma in there, and it's like I feel like my tailbone's broken, but they swore my tailbone is not broken. But
everything okay with the butthole? The butthole?
Well, yeah. So that was what they were very concerned about.
Yeah.
Was that I tore into the anus, and if I would have done that, like I went into surgery, and she's like, "You may wake up with a bag out your belly, and you're gonna have to shit in a bag for 4 months." I'm like, "Oh my God!" So like literally, my eyes weren't even open yet, and I'm just feeling my body like looking for a bag, and I couldn't feel. I was like, "Oh my God, thank God!" So that was their biggest concern, is if I ripped into that, and I didn't, thank God. So that was really good.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I don't think this is terrible. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's like I just want to sit normal, and I can't. And then, anyways, all that happened, and then I got to come home, and that travel home was so bad. Like I was in so much pain, and then I was chalk white. I was like almost fainting everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I had to sit on the airplane for 2 hours, and
how do you sit? They give you a donut or something, or how do you sit?
I sat on a donut, and then I had a couple painkillers just to try and help me get through it. So
and Dean likes his foot pegs really, really sharp.
Yeah.
So I don't care what kind of foot peg you have on there, but he likes them very sharp. And so they probably
now the one thing I wondered at the race, like we've seen more red flags than ever before. You know what I mean? We see a lot of red flags.
Yeah, this bothered me.
They don't hesitate to red flag it. They did for Kyle Peters earlier, and we were talking about our review show, and we're like, well, they were probably way behind in the program because Kyle Peters went down. They threw a red flag, so they're probably like, we don't need to throw a red flag for Dino. But then again, like somebody who was over there told me there was so much blood from where you were, Dean. I don't understand where was the red flag? Like this seems serious.
He could have bled out,
dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's like at the time I didn't know how bad it was the thing, but I mean, obviously it could have been really bad. Like good thing there was doctors on deck. What if I was racing like a GNCC and I'm out in the middle of the woods or something? Like that would be super scary. So I don't know. I mean, I think they should have thrown a red flag and kind of got me out there quicker to lose less blood because I lost a lot of blood. But maybe they just because I had my pants on and they did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think a red flag would have been because I read some comments and people were like, well, he was off the track and this and that. Yeah, but that's not the problem. The problem is that I was bleeding out.
Yes.
Yeah, he
yes.
couldn't cross the track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
When you
Right.
go in the hospital for something like this, is this something that they give you the option to have a transfusion, or you just didn't get that option at all?
Yeah, no, they talked about it. Like the doctor was like, we might give you one, and then, you know, we prefer you to try and they like to eat. Doc Bondar said the same thing. Like they like you rather to build it back up yourself
Generate it,
than to give you a transfusion. I don't know why.
Damn.
So I actually have an appointment tomorrow with a doctor, and we'll see what he says. So.
You're fresh into this one, but you've had injuries in your career before. But is this the worst thing you've dealt with? Is this the worst one?
his hip.
I don't know. Definitely one of the most uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
dislocating my hip that time was the most pain for sure and uncomfortable. But once they popped that thing back in, it was like, oh, it was nice, you know. But this one is kind of just like a constant ass throb, like you just can't get comfortable. That's
Right.
the only thing.
Well,
But
what about
I
when you
don't
take
know.
a dump right now? Is it hard to take a dump?
not too bad. So I've got so much bandages and stuff. The protocol is like, I'll take a dump, I'll try and wipe my best, and then I lay on my bed. Sarah rips the bandages off because it gets all over the bandages. Then she gives it a good wipe and then throws on fresh bandages.
She's an
She's a
angel.
fucking angel, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's seriously the MVP.
Yeah, well, you know what? A lot of these riders' wives go through this stuff. You know, they broke wrists. They
Oh,
break.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and Sarah's one of them.
Look,
this
there's
is amazing.
not a lot. Don't say that word.
Okay.
Because a lot would bail. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah's not.
Yeah,
Definitely
I don't know.
not. Yeah.
So we've got a little routine going. Let's just hope this thing heals up. And it sucks because it was like, you know, not a lot of guys were staying healthy, and I was, you know, I'm the guy that usually never stays healthy, and I was staying healthy, and I was knocking out, you know, top tens.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is fine. This is perfect. You know, 17 rounds. I'm going to be happy with that. And then, fuck, just like 4 rounds to go, this happens, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
like I said, I don't know if I'd wish this on my worst enemy. It sounds terrible. And so now it's open, it's bandaged. They're going to just let it heal. And so, like you said off the top, one of my questions for you was, when are you back? But who knows? This could be a while. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I don't know. I
Right.
don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm be back when I can, but
Yep.
yeah, just till this thing heals up, and it's just like I had a bad laceration on my back of my knee once on PC days,
Glen Helen crash.
2014
Yeah.
at
Glen
Glen
Helen.
Helen,
Bike
but
shut off. Yeah.
they sewed that thing up right away, you know, and
Right.
the problem is this one's just such a gaping big hole, you know, so
10 inches.
Is that deep? How wide is it?
it's about 4 inches wide.
Dang.
Sounds
5
like
inches
one.
wide. It's
10
but
by- 10
it's
by
the
4.
deepness of it is the problem.
Ah.
You know.
Oh, unbelievable.
Hey.
Dean Wilson on the show, brought to you by Scotia. Pulp 2020. Pulp 22 is the code to save with Scotia.com. Get yourself some mounts or some cables or whatever.
I guess to relay it to like the people that are listening, and this is a question for Dean. When this shit happens, and we know you've had some big get-offs, and you're doing good, and the ball's starting to roll, and then you find yourself with your face down, ass up by the whoops, and you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why does this shit keep happening? What is going on?
Yeah. This is what this is the thing with the sport is when everything's going good, it's like, you don't even think about the bad side of it, you know? And then see when this shit happens and then you're going through all the old bullshit that you always have went through when you're injured, and you're just like, that's what sucks it out of you. That's what makes you make those hard decisions like, do I really want to keep doing this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always tough laying there, and I'll get through this one. This one's not, it's bad, but I'll be fine.
Yeah,
So it's just, there's all the, it's two sides to the coin. It's like, and when things are going good, it's the best. I love the sport. And then when
Yep.
it's bad like this, it's like, but
Yeah.
it's part of it. That's what, that's what comes with the trade. So.
Right. I like to, I mean, I don't like to have injured riders on this show, but I do like to talk to guys who have been through some stuff to give our fans, the keyboard warrior guys
Yeah.
and the guys on the other side of the phones and stuff, an idea of, look, nobody's going to, start a GoFundMe for you, Dino, or anything else. But guess what? Your accounting job and your plumber job and everything else, you're not getting a 10-inch gash in your ass 4 inches wide
Yeah.
and not being able to sit down for, you know what I mean? The
Yeah.
things that you guys go through are pretty gnarly, all of you guys. And I was a mechanic. Paul was a mechanic. Kiefer knows everybody. We see this
Yeah.
stuff day in and day out. Like Alex Ray right now, he's got numbness in his hand. One wrist is still broke, He's trying to race. He needs money. Like, that stuff like that, where you have no idea what this guy's going through. Like, there's so many
No, I
guys
know.
out there that go through this stuff. I
know it's
Yep.
tough. It's like I talk to. It's always cool to talk to stuff like this. That's why us writers always